Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you once again for joining us. And if it's the first time, thanks for coming to join us. We always like to set the tone before we start our conversation. We want to come at it in a space of peace, love, harmony, and joy. So come with us.
Yes, thank you everyone. Thank you, Gloria. And we just want to remind you that we love that you are coming back and checking out our chats. And if you like this particular chat, as usual, please hit that thumb icon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification. That just will notify you when our chats are ready to be viewed, because I know you're all excited about viewing our chats.
Yes.
All right, and today's tea we're drinking is one that we've drank a few times, and we love it so much we decided to do it again. Ta-ta! It's called Bloomi,
Yes.
actually, Bloomi.
Yes.
Bloomi, green butterfly tea flower, and we love it because there's 10 cups that come, and everything is self-contained.
Yes.
Inside is already some loose leaf tea, but it's covered with this very, very thin netting, but it's thick enough so it doesn't pop a hole in it.
Right.
And you just pour water in here, hot water, and this this cup is actually good for 3 teas.
Yes.
So you can drink it 2 more times after the first one. So we
Yes.
love it. And if you have not seen our videos of us drinking, Gloria is going to tell you what Bloomi is all about.
And the ingredients are organic, which we love. Organic green tea and butterfly pea flower. That's it. I love when it's simple ingredients.
Yeah, we still don't know what butterfly tea flower is.
Yes.
So
but
maybe one day we'll do a little research as to what it is. But we
Yes.
love it. And this company actually has a couple of other flavors, and we're going to try that.
Yes.
But we do like this. It comes with actually a lid as well, like
Yes.
a takeout coffee cup lid.
Yes.
So I'm going to open it because I like to drink it without that. And it's really good.
Good smell.
All right.
Cheers.
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 It's very good.
Very good flavor. All right. So let's get started. Today is National Taco Day.
Nacho day.
Nacho Day. I got Taco Tuesday on the mind.
I know. It's
Nacho
Wednesday
Day.
today.
Yeah, today is Wednesday. I don't know why I'm thinking today is Tuesday. It's Wednesday and it's National Nacho Day. So as we begin, our thoughts and prayers go out to the universe because we believe we have to learn to love. Total, complete, unconditional love. We have to love for self, love for each other. And until we get there, life is not going to be as wonderful as we know it can be. The most important thing for us is to be aware of how love in the world will affect our children. So I want to just give you all a heads up about that. We also want to acknowledge the passing of Quincy Jones. He was 91 years young. He passed away earlier this week. He was an amazing composer. He worked on many different genres of music, starting in the 1950s. He worked on jazz, funk, soul, R&B, all chart-topping pop. It didn't matter. Someone could call him up and say, oh, I got this movie and I need a soundtrack that is just amazing, or I need a theme song, and he would sign up for it.
Yeah, he collaborated with so many people.
Yes, he worked on films like In the Heat of the Night, The Color Purple, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just to name a few. He also did Ironside, Stanford and Son, their theme song, dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It wasn't elaborate, it was just good music. The Erotic Garden, The Secret Garden, and many, many more. One of the things that I loved is he also worked with Michael Jackson on his music, Off the Wall. I almost think he did Thriller. I'm not sure, but I know the Off the Wall album,
Yes.
he composed a lot of the songs. So may you rest in peace. Your essence will be missed here on planet Earth. So, as you know, this year our focus is on kids. We're all about our children, making a better world for our kids. That's the most important thing. And anyone under the sound of our voices, please, 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 please think about your child. Don't think about you, what you want, me. Try and push it out and think about our children. So I was in my car driving down the road, and I stopped at a light, and I kind of turned my head, and I see the kids are all getting out of school. And I thought to myself, oh Lord, I'm going to be sitting here a long time. And then I looked at the kids, and they have these backpacks on. And some of them are leaning forward, some of them are leaning back because the weight of whatever's in those backpacks. And I thought to myself, when did they stop having lockers?
They do have lockers. They still do.
Some, but not many. They've stopped doing it because of the violence and the shooting. When kids started bringing guns to school.
My son graduated probably three years ago from high school. And he had lockers then, so it must have been recent.
Well, they said that, what did they say? They said they started removing lockers from the hallways, and the new schools that are being designed have no lockers. Oh. They said this has been for some time, and it's due to space digital resources, and that means students can carry everything they need in their backpack. But, because they're thinking electronic, a pad. I can take my iPad, I can take my phone.
Or your laptop.
Or your laptop. If I have research to do, I can do that. If I have homework to do, I don't have to do a lot. They say that the books are now being made slimmer. But these kids didn't look like it was slimmer. It looked like it was pretty heavy. And what parents need to be aware of is it is starting to affect their posture. So one of the main reasons that they eliminated the locker was the concern for weapons or drugs being stored in them. So the backpack culture has already been growing. So when school violence became such a public issue in schools, that's when they started making backpacks more universal throughout all ages. Because for a while there, like the little kids, they didn't have lockers because they didn't need lockers.
Yeah.
So the elementary didn't, and then there was middle, and then there's high school. So there are many different avenues, but the negative impact of those backpacks is you can have back pain. And this is because during the heavy backpacks, it'll cause back pain, especially in the neck and the upper back and the lower back. This is because the weight can pull the child backward, causing them to arch their back or being folded at the hips because they're trying to carry it on their back instead of just letting it hang.
Well, also some children, they don't know when heavy is heavy enough. So what they do is, instead of, what you should do is put on both straps on either side to distribute the weight and the balance. But some kids just have it off of one shoulder.
Yeah. And
which causes like lopsidedness
yes.
with your shoulders.
Yes. And like you said, we also have poor posture where they're carrying the backpack, and that can lead to the rounding of the shoulders. So once again, you got to make sure those straps are on. Our suggestion is have an adult or even a friend put your backpack on empty and have them put things in it. And when you go, okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Or maybe, why don't you do this? Get one of those backpacks with wheels. Yes. So it's like a luggage. Then you're not putting on your back and putting all the weight, that you're just pulling it like a luggage.
Yeah, because also, just to be aware, you can get numbness and tingling, and that's also because of those straps. So injury also occurs because the heavy backpacks can lead to muscle strain or irritation of the spine, joints, and rib cage. So it's real important that we want you to have what you need for school, but not too much.
Well, that's kind of asking a lot, to put all your day's books and notebooks and everything in one backpack. That's a lot, because the lockers are needed. That's the reason we had lockers, so that you didn't have to carry everything in your backpack.
And if the kids are going through metal detections and all this stuff, and then they have all these drills during the day, I would think that the lockers should be safe.
Yes.
I would think. So this is just something to keep an eye on and watch your children. And if you notice your child is hunched over, because one of my godsons, he was pretty tiny. When he was 8, maybe he weighed 65, 70 pounds. He's very thin. Even today, he's still thin. And his backpack, oh my God, it probably weighed 20, 25 pounds. So it's something that's been around for a while, and I know as they design new schools, they're getting rid of it. I just think they need to find an alternative, something else for kids so they don't have to lug these books. So we just wanted to share that with you and bring it to your attention. As you know, Dancing with the Stars was not on because yesterday was election day, voting in America. So our part as citizens is done in the United States. We've all done our voting. Donald Trump reached 276 electoral votes. So he has taken the steps. Because once you hit the number, then you go in and you acknowledge the fact that you've won. So he did that. Now, there are still some states with votes yet to be finalized because the Senate has flipped to the Republicans leading it, whereas the Republicans were in charge of the House. So depending on the votes, it could come down to the point where the Republicans will have the House and the Senate. But those states have to come up and be counted. Now, the reason that I'm kind of sharing this with you is if you go back to civic classes when we were in school, we had 3 branches of government. The legislative branch of the government is Congress, which is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Then we have the judicial branch, which includes the Supreme Court justice and then the lower court judge. And then the executive branch is the president. The purpose of the Constitution was to establish these 3 branches to make sure no one branch had authority over the other branch. However, based on what we're seeing today, that could no longer be the truth. It could all be controlled by one party. So when you go to vote in the future, make sure you understand that you're not giving one government component the keys to the locker, letting them do whatever they want to do. We want this to be a fair democracy. So we don't know how things are going to turn out, but as of this point, the 47th president of the United States is Donald Trump.
Yep, we will see what plays out, and what's done is done.
Yeah.
And we did our vote, like Gloria said, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Golden Bachelorette. Did you watch? What did you think? Were you as shocked? Now, remember, last week we talked about how we both like Pascal.
Yes.
Now, we're going to talk about the other 2 gentlemen first. So the first person she took on a date was Guy.
Guy, yes.
So they went on a catamaran, and they had some champagne, and they kind of hung out and talked, and he pretty much said to her that, well, let's go back a little bit. Joan, when this time she went to Tahiti, and they decided to put her on a cruise ship. I guess that's the safest place or whatever. So that's where she stayed. And then the guys would come to the cruise ship to be with her. And then from there, they would go and do their little excursions. A friend of hers from the Golden Bachelor, Nancy, came on to be there for her to give her some support. I'm glad she was there.
I like Nancy.
Yeah, and I like the fact of how Nancy talked to her about what was going on through the process and how she felt.
Right.
So now back to Guy. So they had a little champagne, they talked, they snorkeled. Sometimes I wonder about the producers of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, because they sent them into the water with baby sharks and stingrays. Aren't both of those kind of dangerous? If you get stung by a stingray, can't you die? Remember the guy that was the alligator, Steve? his little daughter is doing the same thing.
Steve.
And he got stung by he pulled it out, and that's why he died.
Right.
So
Steve Owen.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised that they did that. But what did you think of her date with Guy?
I liked it. I think that she has a good rapport with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's retired, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what
he's retiring.
Because he's
an ER doctor.
Right. He wants, his goal is he wants to travel a lot.
Yes.
And I think that Joan said that she's very young, even though people think they're in their retirement years. She says, no, I have many years to go, and I still like to do fun things.
Yes.
So for him to be retiring soon and want to travel, that's great for her because she loves it.
Yes.
So I like him. He's told her that he's falling for her.
Yes.
But during this little date, he really opened up to her a lot.
Yes, because he was kind of reserved, and she didn't know if he could be the one at the end because he was so reserved, because he didn't want to get hurt. He even said to her, "Please don't hurt me."
Right. But I think from what I see, he's ready.
Yes.
I think he's ready, and I think he's all in.
Yes. So that was the first date. And then she goes and she gets ready for her second date, which is with Choke.
Yes.
And I was surprised because I thought Choke would be last, because that's the one I think she likes the best.
Usually they do that. They put them at the end, the one that she likes the best.
Yeah. However, so with Choke, she tells him, we're going to go out and have some fun. She's really big on fun.
Yes, she is.
So I like that. I remember when she was with Jordan and she put him on skates and he fell. And I was like, even though her age may be a higher number, she's physically very fit.
Yes, she is. She takes good care of herself.
So with Choke, they got in the ATV vehicles, and she said to him, "You probably have some of these at your home." And he goes, "As a matter of fact, we have 2. So he felt very comfortable in it, and I'm glad they had seatbelts on, or they probably would have flew out. But they were hanging out. They had a good time together. They even stopped and they had a little, what is that, sunset lunch?
Yes.
So they got a chance to talk, and that part was really good.
Well, we forgot to say that, you probably know, but last week's Golden Bachelorette was the overnight.
Oh, yes.
But she decided to do away with the
bedroom,
beds.
yes.
Because what she really wanted was to get to know the men better and just to have deep conversations. And I like that because I don't know why they do the overnights.
Yes, I mean, especially looking like they have relations with 3 people.
Right.
Back to back to back.
And she said she's not ready to have sex. And she's not going to do it with 3 people.
She's going to do it with the
one person.
The final
with
one
the one.
Picks.
Yes.
Yes. And so she did spend time with Guy. And the morning after, he had a big smile on his face. So he had a good time. And, with Choke, they did the sunset little picnic. And then later that night, they actually got together for dinner. And Choke actually opened up a little bit more. The guys are actually opening up a little bit more, telling her how they feel, what they think about this whole situation. And she also reiterated with him, I would love to spend some time with you alone. However, there's not going to be any intimate situation, because she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to come across as a loose woman,
Yeah.
And so he was like, "I'm all in. Let's go. Let's do it." So that was, once again, Choke also complimented her on, she was very teary at his mom's memorial service when he met the family. And he told her, that did not feel like you were a stranger. You felt like you were family when you were with us. So that was really good. So Choke also said that he wanted her, before that she left the mother's memorial, he said to her, "I want you to know that I'm falling for you." So I think he was one of the first ones to confess how he felt about her.
For a very long time, he's always wanted her to know, and he's always been up there, very honest and kind of in her face, because
Yes.
remember they went to the bowling
Yes.
and he was all
Yes,
Yes.
the other guys felt like, oh, you're monopolizing her. And, he's like, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here because I like
Yeah.
Joan. What else did Chuck do? The morning after, they tried to, before he met with Joan, he also met with Jesse. And he had a conversation with Jesse about the fact that he was, how he was feeling for her. And yet he also wanted Jesse to know that he was concerned, and that's why he was a little hesitant, because he doesn't know how she feels about
Right.
Pascal and Guy. But he told him he was going to go forward, which he did. They had a great date. They had a great overnight. And then the next morning, he was all smiles, and they were like, well, someone asked him questions. Did you get intimate? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you what we did. If Joan wants to tell you, that's up to her. But as far as my communication of the situation, no, I'm not going to say anything. So that was pretty cool. The final date was with our current favorite, Pascal. We thought that Pascal I didn't think he was going to be the last one. I thought Choke would be the last
Yes.
one. So what the final point is they show Pascal, and all of a sudden he's concerned. He's like, I'm very nervous. I like her, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm in a position where I can propose.
And this is very shocking, because
Yes.
I thought that when they did the hometowns,
Yes.
he was all in.
Yes. So I'm like, what happened? Did someone say something to him that scared him? So he actually sits down with the resident therapist to talk to them about his feelings. And of course, they're like, you should tell Joan how you're feeling.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So they have the dinner at nighttime,
Yes.
and she wasn't expecting it, but then he tells her that he's not sure if he's getting to where she wants him to be at this stage
Well,
in
don't
their
forget
relationship.
what they did in the beginning. Remember? This is what got me, the ceremonial. Remember when they got in the water?
Oh,
the what is it? Is it the bonding?
The bonding.
Yes. So this, just before we get into that part. So they do this bonding ceremony, and they do this thing where they pour water over each other's hands to eliminate the fear or anything that could prevent them from being open and loving. And, they are asked, what would you like to let go of?
Right.
And like Joan said, I want to let go of the fear that loving someone else it doesn't reflect good on how I love my husband, that kind of thing.
Right.
She told Pascal that he had a lot of the traits of her husband, the fun, the outgoing. During this whole process, the Tahitian man spoke French. So Pascal is talking to
It's
him.
translating. He felt
Yes.
very comfortable.
Yeah, so he's talking to him in French. He's translating to Joan. They do this thing with the water. They interchange their hands. So you're like, oh my God, this is bonding. This is perfect. Then we get to dinner.
Oh, that's where that comes in.
Yes.
Completely forgot about all that.
Yes.
So he comes in and they're having this. See, there's one thing that is a bit annoying about Joan, I have to say. She keeps talking about her ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
Her
deceased. It's not like
not ex-husband.
her deceased.
Her
husband.
deceased husband.
Yeah.
And she keeps talking about that. I mean, she keeps saying that she's not sure whether she could fully love someone.
Yes.
And John, I don't know if John would approve of this,
Yes,
blah, blah,
and
blah.
he would feel, and I would feel like I'm cheating on him.
Right,
He's
right.
deceased.
But she kept going on about that to every man, and she kept saying it, and I
Yep.
kind of kept thinking, now here she goes again, talking about John.
Yes.
Why can't, yes, we all know fully
Yes.
that this is her feelings, and she's having some reservations,
Right.
but she's already told these three already so
Right.
many times. Let
So-
it go.
Yeah, don't
Just-
say it again.
Just let it go. It's getting a bit overkill.
I think that's what affected Pascal.
You're probably right, because that's why he responded the way he responded.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't think that I'm quite where you want me to
Yeah.
be at this stage.
He even said to her, I was in a relationship with a woman. We were about to get engaged.
Yes.
it didn't work out. My daughter signed me up to come and do this. I never expected to still be here. I'm just not ready.
That was a shock because I thought he was ready. He seemed very ready.
I mean, I love the fact when they're together, the fun that they had. I thought he was. But then, you know, when he would say, I don't know. I just don't know.
And he seemed very serious when he said that. So he really meant what he said. And in a way, I'm glad he told her instead of playing her along.
Yes.
But it was a shock because I thought quite the opposite from the previous week.
I thought
they
he
showed
was
the
all
hometowns.
in.
Yes, I thought he was all in as well.
Yeah.
Especially when she went to visit his family and how happy he was.
Showing her his salon and his staff. She could see how his team and his children loved him.
Yes.
But when he was talking about, I'm just not ready. I don't know if I'm ready to propose. I don't know if I'm there yet. And I don't know if I can get there by the time you need me to get there. And, you know, even while he is saying things like that, that is, I mean, I didn't know she liked him as much as she did.
Well, I thought for a split second, I thought maybe she didn't like him as much as Chuck and Guy, because she was saying, like, I'm not sure if he's ready to really commit.
She almost sent him home, remember?
Yes.
She almost sent him home. So I'm like, oh, well, you know, bye. And all of a sudden, she's upset.
After he tells her all this, she acts like he was always someone that she really favored.
Yes, because he reminds her so much of her belated
so that was a bit of a plot
shocker.
Twist.
Yeah. And then, you know, so he tells her that he can't do it. She says, I'd prefer for you to tell me now and be honest. And so he hugs her, and then the cameras swoop in, and he goes, no, go away. And he walks her away a little bit. He caresses her, and he whispers in her ear, I'm only a phone call away. So even though he's leaving and he's pulling back, he's letting her know that he's still there if she needs him or if she needs to talk.
I don't understand that. That's very odd. What is he doing? He's already turned her down.
Well, he says he wants to be friends. He says he loves her as a friend.
Yeah, he says that, but to say I'm only a phone call away, it just means something else.
I know. So that part was a little confusing. And, you know, it kind of, you know, they show him on the tender off the cruise ship. Leaving. And, of course, they start showing what's coming up. So next week we got the Men Tell All.
Yes.
And then, that'll be good. And then we go into the final phases. And Pascal is on the stage. So, of course, he's now going to be in a position to talk about what happened in his feelings.
Right.
So, based on Pascal leaving, it appears we now have Choke and Guy. So, who do you like? Who do you think is going to be the magic one? Comment below.
Yeah,
let us know.
Because either one of them could be great.
Yeah.
So
she just needs somebody who's going to love her. But you know, the other thing, when Pascal did that, because he said, I'm not there yet, he goes, I love you, but I'm not ready to propose.
Right.
You know, he never said anything bad. Joan flips it around and says, you know, I'm not worthy. And I'm like, why are you beating yourself up?
She kept saying that. Maybe I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy for love. And I thought, girlfriend, at least he's an honest man. And he's trying to do the honest thing for you.
Does she not know that there's two other men vying and they really love her? They're saying they're you know, growing.
They're all in.
They're all in.
Yeah.
So why does she think that she's not worthy? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't quite understand that.
And the only other thing I thought is, she really liked Pascal more than we realized.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like he was the one. I thought it's always been Choke. Based on her connections with him.
Yeah.
So we will be watching. We're going to see what comes up and how that works. Yeah. But it's been really, really an interesting season of the Golden Bachelorette. Very interesting.
Yep.
Last weekend, which is the first weekend of November, we all here set our clocks back an hour. Some states don't flip. Some states are like, no, we're not doing that.
We shouldn't flip either. And I always thought that that they had already passed the bill, that they'd done away with that.
Yeah,
but then I keep thinking, well, I thought we're going to be moving our clocks backwards, forwards. I thought we were done with that.
I thought they actually picked that they were going to leave it forward because you get more daylight.
Yes,
that way.
I thought that it was when was it? I thought last
Yeah,
year,
the one in
October
2023
2023 was going to be the last one.
But we flipped again. And
We've done it twice now.
And then I think in May we do it, we fall back.
So what is it? We
Spring
want to know why.
Yeah, why are we bouncing? And if you know, please tell us, because we don't know why we're bouncing. And here in Northern California, you know, our weather is still going on. We are now experiencing high winds. You know, we go from hot triple digits, then it got cold, and now we have high winds. And we have to be very careful, everyone. If you go camping, do not make a fire. You know, take you something that will keep you warm, because the winds are anywhere from 25 to 30. I think the highest I saw was 30 miles per hour. And all it takes is just one little flint and we'll have a fire. Our PG&E is also watching very closely, and they're going to start regulating power outages, just to make sure that any area where there is a, you know, grassy, you know, area, that they can curtail the amount of possible danger by shutting it down. So that's kind of what's going on with them. Today is a fast little chat. Normally we talk a little bit more. I just think we've had so much to do with our election season this year. We're just speechless.
Yeah, because election was just yesterday, and it's we're still coming out of it.
Yeah.
And we're still like not sure really what's happening.
Yeah, because there's still votes to be counted, and you know, maybe next week if there's any new information, we'll share it with you. And if it's the same status quo, we don't have to talk about it. But it's definitely going to change the United States, and hopefully, by the grace of God, everyone's going to be ready for it.
Yep.
So, my name's Gloria Webb Williams. My company is Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural, an all-natural mineral makeup manufacturer here in Santa Clara, California. My counterpart is
Rosetta Chow, certified health coach, educator, and speaker. And when I'm speaking, I love to educate, and I say your health matters. I help you if you don't know where to start and how to start. If you have any health issues, let me help you holistically. And I love to help families and children so you can raise healthy kids to become healthy adults.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So we want you to know that in this time in our United States of America, as well as our extension to the world, let's lead with love. Let's lead with compassion. Let's lead with understanding. It's very, very important that we bring more love, kindness, support, humanity back into our world. So we are grateful that you spend time with us. We feel the love, and we
send it right back to you.
Just bubbling over all over the place. And we're so grateful that you hang out with us for a little bit every Wednesday.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you liked our chats, or if you've liked our past chats and haven't done so, why not hit that thumb icon? Tells us that you've watched our show and you like it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel so that we can make more of these chats.
Yes.
And hit the bell notification.
Woo-hoo.
Yep, thank you again. And we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat over tea. And remember to always keep smiling.
Bye.
Bye.